السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Welcome back to brothers and sisters. I welcome you all to Madina Book 3, and inshallah this is class 2 where we're learning about Madina Book 3. So even this class, a couple of classes as I said before, that it's going to be a transition before we enter the book 3. So we're going to learn few concepts before we actually start the main lesson, so it will be easy for us to understand the book 3. So what are we going to learn today, inshallah? So we're going to learn more about fa'al. So we have done 3-letter fa'al, and in 3-letter fa'al, so there are two types. One is fa'al ثلاثي mujarrad, which means the fa'al has only 3 letters. There's nothing else. The fa'al is constructed, and we've done extensively all the different forms, types, and we have touched almost all the concepts. And the second type is called fa'al ثلاثي مزيد فيه. Mazid means there are 3-letter fa'als, but there is something extra added in it. So the name suggests everything. So inshallah today we're going to take a brief tour about fa'al ثلاثي مزيد فيه. So what is it? So fa'al ثلاثي, you can say مزيد فيه is like a tree, branches of tree, where each branch is connected to a root, and in our fa'al the root is fa'ala. That means each branch will have fa kalima, ain kalima, and lam kalima. That is the root of the word. But there are some things which makes each branch unique, and it will have its own direction, you can say. So what is form 1? Form 1, and if you see here, there are 10 branches. So there are 10 forms of fa'al ثلاثي. So form 1 is normal, the 3-letter fa'al, which we've done extensively, everything. So we're not going to go into that. So what is form 2? How is it different from form 1? So in form 2, what we have, that's a form 1. Form 2 is we got ain kalima twice. That's why I've given ain square, because ain kalima is repeated. So this will be fa'ala. So that is the pattern. So that is where there is mazid. So we have the root letter fa'ala, but the ain is repeated. That's the form 2. In form 3, so there is alif after the fa kalima. It's fa. So what is the look like? It's like fa'ala. So if you see there, the root letters are there. It is connected, but there's something extra added, and here it is alif. Fa'ala. And form 4 is hamza. Hamzatul qata is here. That's more important to remember. Hamzatul qata, and is at the beginning, in front of fa kalima, and that will sound as af'ala. Af'ala. So again, if you look here, all the 3 root letters are there. Form 5. Form 5, there are 2 kalimas. This like ta is added, and there is ain kalima square. If you see, it is ta plus form 2. So that looks like the fa'ala. The fa'ala. So that's the extra mazid. And form 6 is ta plus alif after fa kalima. That is form 3. So ta plus form 3. So that is the fa'ala. So it will be the fa'ala. And form 7 is in. So before the fa'al, so we'll have in, and this is hamzatul wasl. It's not hamzatul qata. So whereas in form 4 we have hamzatul qata. So it's very important to keep this in mind. This is just a brief tour, inshallah. So we're going to do each one in detail. So in fa'ala. So in fa'ala. So the root is here, fa'ala. So how is it constructed? It's constructed as in fa'ala. And form 8 is hamza. Again, is it hamzatul wasl here plus ta kalima after fa. So how does it look? It's like if ta'ala. If ta'ala. So if you see the root letter is there. And form 9 is for colors and defects, and it will have hamzatul again, wasl and lam square. So that means lam kalima is repeated twice. So it will be if Allah. So it will be if Allah. That's form 9. And finally there will be form 10, which is ista in front of the fa'al. So ista. So how does it look? It looks like istafala. Istafala. So these are the 10 forms of the fa'al Mazid fihi. Inshallah, we're going to learn everything in detail in book 3, but this is just a brief tour how each form is constructed. So in today's class, inshallah, we'll be concentrating on form 2, which is fa'ala. So ayn kalima is repeated. So if you just take you there, it's form 2, and form 2 we will also remember, like Brother Asif he explains. So if we have the root letters is there, fa kalima, ayn kalima and lam kalima. So what we have here, ayn is repeated. So how many letters are there? There are 4 letters. So it is, and because they are repeated, they are assimilated, and idgham is given as fa'ala. And we know whenever there is a 4-letter verb, the mudari' it starts with u. And another way of remembering this form 2 is by remembering its masdar. So form 2, which is fa'ala, has a masdar on the pattern of tafa'ilun. So it's called bab tafa'il. So form 2 is bab tafa'il. We're going to take some example, and inshallah we'll see how it's easy to remember. So form 2 fa'ala, and it has got bab tafa'il. That's the masdar without gender and without tense. So if we take one example, alima, and bring it into form 2, if we change the form from form 1, alima he knew, to allama means he taught. He taught. And mudari will be yu'allimu. Yu'allimu. So we know whenever there is 4 letter, the mudari starts with you. Yu'allimu. And how do we make amr? Means we take tu'allimu and take away the alamatu mudari' and take away the dhamma, change it into majzoom, and we can pronounce it, so we don't need hamzatul wasl. So what we have is allim. So this is allim. And how do we make ism fa'il? So we learned in the previous class ism fa'il of 3-letter word, which is in the pattern of fa'ilun. So what is the form, what is the pattern in fail ثلاثي مزيد fihi? In fail ثلاثي مزيد fihi, all the ism files, they begin with mu, the meme with dhamma, mu, and there is a kasra on the lam kalima. You see, mu'allimu. So this kasra tells us that this is a ism fa'il. Mu'allimu. Mu'allimun means the one who teaches. Yu'allimu, he teaches, and one who teaches is mu'allimun. And what is it called? Ism maf'ul, the one who is taught, the student, we can say, that's called mu'allamun. Mu'allamun. So what do we see here? There is a fatha. So there is a kasra, it becomes ism fa'il, and with the fatha, it becomes ism maf'ul. So very important, it will change the whole meaning if we change the vowel sign. So mu'allim. And what is the masdar of this form? The masdar is on the pattern of taf'ilun. So mu'allimun will be, allama will be ta'alimun. So we say ta'alim, ta'alimul Islam. So ta'alim, that means teaching, is the masdar from the form to fa'ala, which the root word is ayn, lam and mim. Ta'alimun is taf'ilun, and the form is form 2 allama. And let's take some more examples. Qabila, he accepted, and if you make it into form 2 it will be qabbala. Qabbala means he kissed. Qabbala. And how do we make mudara? So we know it's 4-letter verb. It will be yuqabbilu. Yuqabbilu. And amar will be qabbil. Yes. And ism fa'il will be muqabbilun. Again, so if you look here, with kasra will be ism fa'il, and if you want to make ism maf'ul, it will be muqabbalun with the fatha. So it will be ism maf'ul form 2. And how do we make masdar? And the pattern of taf'ilun, it will be taqbilun. Taqbilun will be masdar. So take another example. Most commonly we see in the Quran, sabbaha, he glorified. Yusabbihu. Yusabbihu. So use alamat mudari'. And how do we make amr? It will be sabbih. Sabbih. No, it is with the ending with jazm, majzumun. Fi'l amrun, majzumun. So sabbih. Sabbih isma rabbikal a'la. What we say? It is sabbih isma. Glorify in the name of Allah. So how do you make ism maf'ul? The one who is glorifying is musabbihun. Musabbihun with kasra. And the one who is glorified, thing which is glorified is musabbahun. Musabbahun. And how do we make masdar on the pattern of taf'ilun? Bab taf'il form 2 will be tasbihun. Tasbihun. So we say tasbih in our daily life every day. So tasbih is the masdar which is coming from form 2 fa'ala. Sabbaha. So tasbihun is the masdar. Let's say ballaga. Ballaga, he reached. Ballaga, he called for. So yuballighu. So mudari'. So we say yuballighu. How do we make amr? It will be balligh. And what will be some fa'il? It will be muballigh. So as you are going along, I want you to say along with me, so it will be practice and it will make it more easy for you to remember, inshallah. And what will be some maf'ul? It will be muballaghun, the thing which is invited. And how do we make masdar from ballagha? On the pattern of taf'il will be tablighun. So you say tabligh jamaat. So it's tablighun. It's actually masdar from form 2 fa'ala, to invite. So say one more example. Sallama, to deliver or to send. Yusallimu, that's the mudari'. And how do we say amr? It will be sallim. How do you say amr? Sallim. And ism fa'il will be musallimun. Musallimun with kasra. This is more important to remember. Musallimun is ism fa'il and musallamun is ism maf'ul. And how do we make masdar? It will be taslimun. Taslimun. That's the masdar. So let's do some more conjugation to get more practice on each aspect, like madi, mudari, amr and everything, inshallah. So if we take another fa'il and practice, sawwara, it's he made a photograph. And if you just do a full conjugation in madi, sawwara is fa'ala, and sawwara huma, hum sawwaru, they all photographed. Sawwarat, female, she photographed. Sawwarata, sawwarna. So we know when mutaharrik pronoun comes, the lam kalima gets a sukoon. So it's a normal conjugations which we are very much familiar with, subhanallah. So it will be sawwarna, sawwarta, sawwartuma, sawwartum, صورتي صورتما صورتن صورتو صورنا. This is ماضي. So مضارع we know it's 4-letter word, so it will be يصور يصور يصوران يصورون. That should be typo here. يصورون. أنت هي تصور هما تصوران هن يصورن. See يصورن. So you give سكون. أنت تصور تصوران تصورون. Again a typo here. تصورين أنت تصورين. So ya is the file, noon is sign of مرفوع. تصوران and تصورن. أنتن تصورن. أنا أصور نحن نصور. So this is the مضارع conjugation. And how do we make أمر? Will be صور. Photograph. I mean you are telling somebody صور. Take photograph. صورا صوروا, all of you. أنتم, wow represents أنتم. صوري أنتِ. صورا أنتما and صورنا صورنا أنتن. So مصور is the one who is taking photograph. So مصور اسم فاعل will be مصور, and what will be اسم مفعول? Straightforward it will be مصور مصور. And what will be the masdar on the pattern of تفعيل? It will be تصوير. Okay, tasweer, so most commonly used word in our daily life in Urdu language. So it is tasweer is a photograph or photography. So one more word will be nazzala. So again 4-letter. Nazzala, nazzala, nazzalu, nazzalat, nazzalata. Again mutaharrik pronouns. Lam kalima gets sukun. Nazzalna, nazzalta, nazzaltuma, nazzaltum, نزلتي نزلتما نزلتن نزلت نزلنا. So مضارع will be ينزل ينزل ينزلان ينزلون. هي تنزل هما تنزلان هن ينزلن. Very important. هن ينزلن. أنت تنزل أنتما تنزلان أنتن تنزلون. أنت تنزلين تنزلان تنزلن. أنا أنزل نحن ننزل. So how do we make أمر? Is نزل is أمر from form 2 فعل. So is نزل نزلا, you both. نزلوا نزلي نزل نزلنا. And how to make some file will be منزل منزل منزل. اسم مفعول will be اسم مفعول will be منزلون. And what is the masdar on the pattern of تفعيل will be تنزيل تنزيل. So now there is a few things which we need to know, is especially when the naqis fa'il comes in form 2. So this is important to remember. So what we've learned so far is the kind of a salim fa'ils. So if a naqis fa'il comes, so what are the changes that take place? So if we remember how we did in the 3-letter fa'il, if the same rules apply, but there are slight change in the masdar. So you will see how the changes come. So samma is against a 4-letter. Is alif maksura is ya originally, so it be samma ya sammau sammau. So what happens when hum comes? The lam kalima is completely dropped. The fatha and the waw are compatible, so it is not changed. So it will be sammau, sammat, sammata, sammaina. See, sammaina. So we just give sukun here, and noon of mutaharrik pronouns is added. Sammaina. So it is originally part of the file. Sammaita, sammaituma, سميتما سميتي سميتما سميتن سميت سمينا. This is Madi. So how do we conjugate in Mudari'? So it will be Yusammi. So originally it is Yusammi you. But Ya and Dhamma are not compatible. So Dhamma is dropped and you say Yusammi. But how do we describe it? Fail Mudari' marfu'um bi Dhammatil muqaddara. So we know there is Dhamma, but because of Ya, the Dhamma is omitted. So, but we know it is marfu because of a Yusammi you. Yusammi. Yusammi yani. So alif is the sign of dual. Musanna. Yusammuna. Yusammuna. Why Yusammuna? Because kasra and waw not compatible. So this kasra is changed into dhamma. That's why we have dhamma here for waw. Yusammuna. Tusammi, tusammiyani, and yusammina. So now changes. So just sukun and lam kalima and mutaharrik pronoun. Tusammi, tusammiyani, and tusammuna. We know why dhamma here? Because kasra and waw not compatible. That's why we have dhamma. Tusammuna, tusammina, tusammiyani, and tusammina. So here the difference we should know, tusammina and tusammina. Here it is the ya is the fa'il, anti, and noon is a sign of marfu. Here noon is the sign of fa'il and it is mabni. So we need to remember this. Usammi and nusammi. How do we make amr? It will be sammi. Sammi here we take away alamat mudara and we drop harf illa. So failum majzumun بحذف حرف إلا. So سمي سمي سمو سمي سمي سمينا. So how do we make ism fa'il? It's very important to learn here about ism fa'il in naqis fa'il, which is called ism manqus, ending with weak letter, which is ya. So normally if you see it should have been musammiyun. So we know dhamma and ya are not compatible. So this dhamma is taken away. And what happens instead of dhamma, the whole letter is taken away in the when ism fa'il is made. And what happens like masha, mashiyun. So when we take away the ya with dhamma, a compensatory kasra was given, that is mashin. So here it will be musammi will be musammin. So we'll get a compensatory kasra to make it tanween. So what happens in the ism maf'ul? Ism maf'ul will be musammayun. So again here you take away ya and you make it like musamman. Musamman. So alif maksura is written. And how do we make masdar? So masdar for the form 2 we know it is bab taf'ilun. So bab taf'ilun, it should have been tasmiyun. But because there is a naqis word here, there is a slight change in the masdar. So instead of what we have taf'ilun, what will happen is this ya will change into ta marbuta. So it becomes tasmiyatun. So there will be a pattern of tafa'ilatun. So this is what we need to remember in the naqis fa'al. So whenever the fa'al ending with alif maksura, the pattern of masdar will be tafa'ilatun. Otherwise the normal pattern will be taf'ilun. So if we just bring the final one more fa'al to practice, so inshallah that will make us stronger. So we say salla, sallaya, sallaw. So we know sallaw, it's madi because fatha and waw are compatible. Waw represents hum. Sallat, sallata, sallayna. So from sallayna, you know it's easy. It's sallayta, sallaytuma, sallaytum, sallayti, sallaytuma, sallaytunna, sallaytu, sallayna. So how do we say mudari'? Yusalli. Yusalli. So we know this is how do you describe it? Is فعل مضارع مرفوع بضمة المقدرة. يصليان يصلون. See, يصلون, sending prayers. So why do we have dhamma here? Because kasra and waw not compatible. That's why we have dhamma. Tusalli, tusalliyani, yusallina, tusalli, tusalliyani, tusalluna, tusallina, tusalliyani, and tusallina. Ana usalli, nahnu nusalli. So how do we make amr? It will be salli. Because salli is you make amr by hazfi harfi illa. So you remove the lam kalima. So salli. So Allahumma salli ala. So that is salli. So salliya, sallu is dhamma again we need to know because dhamma, kasra and waw not compatible. That's why we got sallu. Salli with ya is anti. Salliya, sallina. And how do we make ism maf'ul? So again we know because this is naqis, ism manqus. So the ya with dhamma is dropped and a compensatory kasra is going to say musallin. Musallin. So we say musalli, the one who is praying. Musallan. So musallan is the place. Some the things which is ism maf'ul. Musallan or say musalla. So just to tell here that ismu zarf, which is ismu zaman and ismu makan, or in the mazid fihi or in the pattern of ism maf'ul. So the place where you pray is on this pattern. It will be musalla. So we say it's musallan, but when we say musalla is upon which it is prayed, the place. So again the masdar will be, because it's a manqus, so it will have ta marbuta, so it will be in the pattern of taf'ilatun, so it will be tasliyatun. This is some masdar. So that's the kind of brief introduction to form 2 in all the different forms, like madi, mudari', amr, ism fa'il, ism maf'ul, and masdar. Masdar, I want you to remember that fa'ala will be bab taf'ilun. So that's the pattern. But when it is a mankus, whether it's a weak letter, that is alif maksura or ya, then it leads into taf'ilatun. It's like tasliyatun. So that with this, inshallah, we'll wrap up our class. Inshallah, we'll learn about rest of the forms slowly, and inshallah we'll finish the forms, just the conjugations in different positions, and then we'll move on to book 3 inshallah. So I'll see you again in the next class. Until then, assalamu alaikum.